So who's down with
Bam!
OTC? Who is down with OTC?
Yeah, let's do this.
There's the
Holy
hand
cow,
signals. It's not a gang, Jeff. It's
man!
a
And
it's
I
it's
was
a
fire. I was fired up.
OTC.
Hey,
That was really nice, man.
let's play that intro again.
Jeff and I were dancing in the background. I was like, boom, who's down? Who is down with OTC? So, you guys know we had
That was
Malpass on today, and he got held up
outstanding.
temporarily. He may make it on or he may not. We're going to roll with it. So there's
It,
so much to talk about, Jeff. I mean,
there
do we
is.
even know where to start?
It's so overwhelmingly awesome. Let's give some shout outs here because man, we got people bouncing in. We had people that were in the room waiting, before we even got started. So big shout out to them. Big shout out to Connie for always being a big support for everything that we do in here. And we got people in here from all over the world. I know Michael Otto is all the way in here from the UK. We got people from all the way. I see someone in Texas XRP. So we got someone all the way from Texas that's joining us as well. So then we got Bill Gold, Tina Hall, Lady Enigma, Gold XRP, Steve. And oh, there's so many great people bouncing in here. New people too, like the Viscount, even though it sounds like a familiar name. And
Sounds
then
like
of
the
course
discount, but better.
the discount, the
The
Viscount.
viscount.
Then we got XRP Bags and Richter.
Victor's
So
here. Nice.
Richter is here. So we can get started.
Yeah, now we can get started. Now, Tina Hall's here. Oh my gosh, Tina just bounced in. What's going on, Tina? So I'll tell you what we're gonna do is we're gonna you know what we need to do, Jeff? Here, I need to reposition this, but we're
Lisa
gonna be talking
Flanagan,
about
all the way from Ireland. Nice.
Ireland. Yeah, she's always here, so it's a good. Crypto Ginger's here. Hey Ginger, man, good to see you.
Man,
James
it's been a
Rule
while.
XRP, what's up? Good to see you too, man. I always bumping all these people on. Yeah, thank you, Connie. I'll let you know, Jeff. There's a way crazy delay going on tonight. So, guys, if we don't respond right away, it's just because there's a little bit of a delay. I noticed that pulling this up. I don't know why it's so delayed, but probably a popular time for streaming at this moment in time. Who knows? But I will say this: that we got a great show coming up. We're gonna do some cool stuff. This is rare because we generally usually premiere. And tonight we are going live, which means you're going to be very
Live
instrumental in this in crafting this show. So when do we start, Jeff?
right now.
Oh, wait. It wasn't. We got to do it
Not
better than
working.
that.
My button's broken.
Boom.
And now, the Roundtable with Jeff and Chip on the chain.
Let's
All
go.
right, let's go, man. What a great show. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. So Chip, man, what is going on with all the green in the market? It has been outstanding, man. It's been a great weekend.
Yeah, it's been great. When I first initially saw it, I was in a bunch of chats and people were watching the roll up. It was like, it was climbing, hit 32. And James isn't here, but James was the one saying, "Hey guys, he was saying expect a pullback, right about now." And he's always right sometimes, most of the time. Sometimes he gets these things on the head. And I was like, man, but the pullback wasn't too bad. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, let's just happy it didn't pull back to 17 or 19. Well, that's not bad either. We'd still be buying, right, Jeff?
That's it. You got to have the big up, big downs. But that's the big question right now. Where is the direction of this entire market going? And it's interesting. I mean, it's really amazing. There was an article that popped up, and the headline of this article said XRP outpaces crypto market gains. And then it's crazy, right? I mean, we've seen, just in the past couple of days, it just blew up. It was 17 cents up to 30 cents, 32 cents for a little bit, and then a little tiny pullback. But this is the excitement. Yesterday on the show had somebody that was brand new to the space, and I'm sure there's people listening that are potentially brand new to the space as well, and they're experiencing all this for the very first time.
It's 2017, and is it 2017 all over again, going into 2018? I mean, who knows? I mean, it potentially could be.
Man, I hope so. I mean, it'd be really amazing to see, to rehash that 2017 experience. Not so much the 2018 experience, but but maybe
Well,
that,
a bull
who knows
run.
what can happen, right? We want that 2017. I want to see that excitement. And Tino Hall, what is up? No more Yeti coin.
No, the Yeti coin's on the down low right now. Listen, sometimes, the cards close, keep them close to the vest, as they say. But it's good
Right.
to know, Tina, that, you're thinking about Yeti coin.
That's right. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
very happy that you remember the Yeti coin. So,
Oh, here we go. Hang on.
Here we
got some
go.
bouncing in here.
Here
Let's
we
see.
go. Here we go.
Boom. There he is, Mr.
There he
Malpass.
is, the man, the legend.
What's up,
What
man?
is up? Man, what great timing, because Connie was just telling us if we didn't get you in here, we had to shut down the stream. There you go. Look at that.
We want Malpass. We want Malpass. So we brought you. So the funny thing, James, did you freeze?
Oh, he froze up there.
Look at that, man.
Look at that.
I think he froze up. Okay, let's
There's,
get rid of him
there's
here.
another version. I'm gonna get rid of this one.
Let's get rid of
There
this
we
one
go.
here. There we go.
There we
he
go.
is. Froze up a little bit.
We had two of you for a little while.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, man.
Were your ears burning because I said, you had said in one of the chats, say expect a pullback, and man, if it wasn't right on track, you hit you nailed that one, by the way.
Yeah, perfect.
I really expected it to be a little sooner than what it came, but I was trying to wait up for it, and then it seems like I went to bed, and about 20 minutes later, it happened.
Sounds like you jinxed us. By the way, I really like that hat, man. What does that hat say? Can you get a little closer there? Socialism distancing.
I love it.
Boom. There you go. That is interesting, right?
Yeah.
That is very interesting.
I need to get one of those for the back of my truck. That would be great. Big sticker.
Yeah,
in the
man.
window.
I've
Get a rock through the window.
Shirts, and I ordered the shirts and everything to match it.
Yeah, nice. So here we are, man. So, well, we were just talking about green in the markets. How have you been, man? We know that you got the Rona, you got the beer flu, and man, what was that like?
For about 4 days, it was really rough for about 4 days, to be honest with you. But after about 4 days of it, everything sort of seemed to really calm down with it. I ended up being out of work for 21 days. And after 4 days, I'm like, well, come on, let's go. Let's get this going. Let's get out of here. And still couldn't go back to work. I went back and I had some more testing done because I said I had to have a negative test to go back to work. And ended up still testing positive with it. Like I said, there's no signs or symptoms at that point. So I had to wait another week and get tested again. And when I went back to get my, at that time, 4th test for the corona, they ended up just giving me a work release and saying, get on out of here, get back to work. So 21 days out of work with it. 4 days of that was pretty rough. But out of those 4 days, the last day, the 4th day of it, I really told my wife, I was like, this might be the time and opportunity. I need to go to the hospital for this. I said, I'm down. I feel bad. And she was like, well, just wait. Let's give it another day. Let's see what happens. They're all they're going to do is put you on a ventilator. You already have a CPAP. So what's the point? So I sat around that 4th day with that CPAP on, woke up on the 5th day. Fine. Everything was good. I was ready to roll. I was ready to get back to work.
Oh,
nice,
wow.
Man.
That's amazing. Man.
Well, good to see you back in one piece.
It seems like realistically that with the corona, that the after effects, the lingering after effects of the corona is actually worse than having the corona. I still know people that here we are. We tested positive on May 9th, and I still have people that still do not have smell or taste that have already been cleared for work. But like I say, they just lingering effects of it just seem like they just hang around. They don't go away.
Did they lose any weight? Because if I couldn't taste anything, I probably wouldn't want to eat anything. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they seem to lose a good bit of weight. And when you can't smell anything, everything tastes funny anyway.
Like that's apple pie, and it tastes like metal. You're like,
Yeah, all you get is the texture of it. So, I mean, if you can't taste apple pie and all you get is that texture of what's going into your mouth, it's not very
Sloppy.
good. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not
sloppy.
great.
Man, I can't imagine. Yep. So 4 days, 5th day, you're good. During those 4 days, how did you feel? What was it?
So at first I started just feeling really drained, really lethargic, just no energy whatsoever. Didn't want to even move. And then it started going. I ended up losing smell. Probably day 2, I ended up losing smell. And as I lost smell, it just started having like neurology. What's it called? Hold on, say the word for me.
Neurological.
Neurologic.
Yeah.
Neurological.
My
Yeah.
eyes didn't want to focus, man. Short-term memory loss, just couldn't really remember anything that was going on. Just didn't want to get up, didn't want to laid in the bed literally for 4 days. Couldn't get up.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
So still I get myself in trouble, man. There's still a lot of things that I forget, especially like on a day-to-day while I'm at work. I'm like, man, I knew I was supposed to do that, and I realized it right about the time I'm getting called out on it. So short-term memory loss is definitely something that comes along with it. Not being able to focus your eyes, trouble breathing, real lethargic, just don't feel like you just want to do anything at all, just lay around. And like I said, that lasted about 4 days, man. Once I started getting smell back, I knew it was time to hit the road when I started getting smell back.
That's it.
So, hey, well, listen, we got a question here. Connie wants to know, time for blast off, Malpass? She's asking you. So is it time for blast off?
So Miss Connie asked me this question about 18 times a day. And
I know, but it's fun to do it on a live stream as well.
I got the same answer. No, not quite, Miss Connie. Not quite. We're getting there. Hey, we're getting there, man. As things are starting to heat up, it really reminds me not so much of 2017, but maybe late 2016 when things are really starting to get exciting. The bear markets is a lot easier to make money in a bear market. Whether anybody believes that or not, it's a lot easier to make money in a bear market. But as we turn around into the bull markets, it's a lot easier to lose your butt on it because you're betting long. Everybody's like, no, it's going. Everybody forgets about those pullbacks that's going to happen. They have to happen. In order to build a structure, it has to happen. It has to pull back. So it's a lot easier to make bigger money following charts if you're a trader in a bear market than it is a bull market.
Well, there you go with your fundamentals, man. Bring in fundamentals to the game. I like it. But you get emotionally caught up in it.
As far as what I see going on right now, I see things are starting to heat up. They really are. Things are starting to get fun. People are really starting to feel the energy. People are laughing again. People are smiling again. People that are inside of the crypto space. So it's good to see. It's good to see it starting to come around. Realistically, a bull market is totally different from a bull run. So that blast off top, that's what everybody wants. They want that blast off top. They want to see that thing just skyrocket all of a sudden. And realistically, that's what we saw on the other night when it just shot up from 29 cents and just shot right through 30, right into 31, banging on 32. That's that blow off top that you get when it jumps that quick. That's when you know things are really about to turn around. People are just pumping money into it. People are FOMOing at that point. Somebody's fisting the trigger a big sale. Go ahead and make this thing go back down.
Oh yeah, so that's a great point.
Yeah, that blow off top takes a little while to happen. It really does. The bull market could realistically last all the way up to 200 and some odd days. I think it did when we started in 2016, going through 2017. Before we saw that big jump in XRP in like May of 2017, man, it took a long time to get there. But even at that, things calmed down, and we still had that bullish trend until we got down into November and December. And that's when we had that big blow off top that everybody remembers, that really and truly brought a lot of new investors into crypto because they're like, holy cow, look what is going on right here. So that blow off top, guys, that blow off top is an amazing feeling. It's an adrenaline rush like you're never going to get anywhere else in this world. But when that's happening and your neighbor's asking you about crypto, know it's time to get out. It's time right around the corner because that thing's about to pull back.
The question is this time, how far back will it pull? Mainly because if we look at the 2017 time frame, there was really no structure that was holding up the market. It was just a lot of speculation at the time. There was some movement, not much, foundation. Now we're kind of going into a different period, but and so the question is, when it does go up, how far does it pull back? What are your thoughts? I mean, is it something? Does it then reach kind of a plateau where we're going to be at a higher price point? I mean, and that there's no guessing it, because I don't know if any of us know. But we're seeing this interesting direction right now.
See, it's there's so many different variables now into the market compared to what was in 2017. I mean, we have live fundamentals being used. We have genuine use case. We have institutional investors that are going to be hitting it harder than any of us retail investors could have done in 2017. So it's really hard to say. I mean, it could follow some of the amazing TA guys. Blockchain Backer, man, I really love Blockchain Backer, man. Hey, he has our back, and I tell you what, I got his back too, man. I really like that dude. But Blockchain Backer, he has a good point, ranging things anywhere from that $9 to that $13 range on that first initial let's go. But realistically, how many times have we seen XRP do a 90% pullback?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's not out of the question. I mean, that still could be there. No matter who's investing, no matter what fundamentals we have there, once we have that blow off top, you still have to remember that 90% pullback is it's always possible. It's
right. Yeah, it's always a possibility. It's a possibility. And I think even if you're looking at a traditional stock market, anytime you see too rapid of a bounce up, the other side is going to be just as devastating. All right. So, and I think that's the scary part.
Absolutely.
Whereas, when you see if you see a solid foundation where it's just growing, at a steady pace, and then there's some spikes, and those spikes always pull back, if it's established a nice base, it's still going to keep trending up. But, like you brought up, in that 2017 period, it went from 24 cents and it held 27 cents, 28 cents. And then in a short period of time, it was over $3. But that was the whole market. Absolutely. And that whole bump of that market, everything was going crazy, but it was all based on just FOMO. There was nothing else bringing it up to that point. And we didn't know, I don't think at that point anyone knew where it was going to fall back to, and obviously we saw, it go really far.
Everybody remembers that from 20 cent to 340, 380, whatever chart you're looking at, everybody remembers that part, but they don't ever remember from the 0.2 of a penny,
right,
all the way back up, because that's realistically where we started. And everybody, I've heard some stuff. Well, you went on Jungle Link show and said March 18th. Well, if you actually pull the charts back and you look at March 18th, that's when this started. It actually did. We was at 10 cent right in that same time frame. March 18th, we started turning the tide and we started going bullish. We had our capitulation all the way down to 10 cent. How many people bought at 10 cent, dude? That was amazing. And that's when all of this actually started. So when you look at when the bull market actually started, I go right back to March 18th, because that's when we turned the tide after that big drop, and then it started toting back up. Everybody said, well, you said it was going to do this and you said it was going to do that. But at the same time, we never knew what was going to play out, how it was going to play out. We didn't know coronavirus was going to be introduced. We didn't know we were going to have riots all over the dang place. We didn't know the economy was going to crash. We didn't know any of that.
Okay, James, here's what we know. You can't say that on this show. You can't mention those words. You got to say something clever like the beer flu or Rona or something like that, because it doesn't go well for us. Jeff and I don't do well with that. It's like a lot of, we got stuff taken down. It's we've
demonetized ourselves and had our videos edited, and, DNI, same thing, but it's funny.
Yeah,
I don't have to say much.
I thought that man up there in that house, I guess we ain't allowed to talk about that man or that house that he's sitting in up there in that place that just signed that order about where they can't say nothing else about what we say anymore.
It is interesting that he did sign that executive order, right? And it basically reassigns 203. It was a 203, right? It's kind of weird. That got almost no play. I got to the point, James, where I had to start looking for it and think, did that really happen? Because it was like nothing happened. And I was like, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to get signed, but there was zero coverage on it. I almost started doubting, did it happen? So
Yeah,
who
I think it
knows?
happened, man.
Oh, it did happen. It happened after I went back
Yeah.
and started looking for it, but it did happen.
I just want to
So-
say what's up to XRP Carolina. You bounced in here a little while ago. We have a couple of people that are watching over on Periscope or Twitter. I saw XRP Carolina had commented there, and we have somebody here also watching or commenting from Periscope and Twitter. So, man, big 589 from Lady Enigma. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Sharing love and support for all crypto community, especially to the XRP community. James Malpass, glad you survived the beer flu. OTC, keep up the good work, guys.
Nice. Thank you. Appreciate that. See, she knows the code words. She knows how to say those, but yeah. So look, the market's kind of cool, right? We got last time right before we went live, it was like 11,000 on Bitcoin, and it's great to see some positive vibes in the press, in the crypto press. It's like, XRP finally gets, it gets love for a day, and then it goes back to the hate, the hate the banker's coin. But something we talked about last week and wanted to get your take on this is that here is the ability to, the comptroller comes out, Brian Brooks comes out and says, hey, makes this new regulation that banks can custody crypto now. And so Pomp, our boy Pomp over there, he on his podcast, he put out a tweet. He said, hey, one thing that's pretty exciting is that they'll never forget the influence of a Bitcoin, holder, a Bitcoin maxi or something like that. And I was like, wait a minute. Weren't the Bitcoin maxis against all the banks? Wasn't that like the whole thing?
Hey, but what he was referring to was a gentleman that come from Coinbase.
Yeah, Brian Brooks.
Yeah, Coinbase is definitely a Bitcoin maximalist playground. They love it. So at the end of the day, it takes XRP to make it all work.
Damn right. Preach.
Bitcoin people, they're slowly starting to understand that, and I shouldn't say Bitcoin people. I should say that people that are involved in the crypto space, because I don't want to try to do camps. Camps to me is done got on my nerves. It's aggravating. I hate seeing people fight over this coin, fight over that coin. But in the crypto space, people are starting to understand that that Bitcoin takes XRP to move in a good way. It does not move well on its own. It costs too much money to move on its own. So therefore, they have to transfer it through the XRP ledger for it to work. Lightning Network is a joke. It don't work that great. So in order for it to work the way that they want it to work, it has to travel through XRP, through the XRP ledger, which is going to burn XRP as it does its thing going through there. Whether that's Bitcoin, whether that's Ethereum, whether that's traditional stocks, whether that's precious metals, whatever that looks like, it's all going to go through the XRP ledger because that's the digital hub that pulls everything together. The ledger is the plumbing of this ecosystem, and they're starting to understand that. They still have some animosity, but you'll start to see people like, did you watch the David Schwartz, Charlie Shrimp? Did you watch that?
I mean, listen to it, right? You talk about the podcast, the Black Stars.
Yeah.
I caught a little bit of it. I didn't get a chance to listen to the whole thing. Got interrupted, but any good?
Really, Charlie has had a turn of tide with that, and he really understands that it's not what everybody says it is. It's actually a great design that really helps the entire crypto space.
Right.
So you don't have Bitcoin developers that are out here beating down the doors trying to realistically push this through the market. It's going through the market as a store of value because it is that brand name. It is capable of actually running some apps and doing some really cool stuff. It really is. But it's going to take somebody stepping up and actually building on it and making this work. In the meantime, all they can do is just transfer it through the XRP ledger. So they're starting to understand that all the way across the board. They're starting to understand that, and it's a good thing. A lot of people don't understand just how long XRP has been out, but realistically, without the efforts of Ripple, without the forefathers, even Jed McCaleb, without the forefathers of who created XRP, the crypto space would not be where it's at today without those gentlemen and without XRP.
That's a mic drop moment. Boom, right there. That was not well stated. And I have to say that I think the biggest obstacle that Bitcoin has and some of these other ones, the brilliance that was built into having the nodes and having to be able to vote and having to have a majority, and then divesting Ripple from control. But you saw stuff that's been voted for a while now, and you see that stuff is slowly starting to change. You can't do that with Bitcoin. Nobody knows who Satoshi is. I don't think it matters who Satoshi is, but the bottom line is that I think it would actually be bad if we did find out, right? Some dude in a basement somewhere or something weird. That could be potentially weird. What do we have here on the screen, Jeff?
I thought this was interesting because, we look at, opportunities as a whole when we get in this crypto space right now. And so Eman brought up a point regarding XRP. But he's saying XRP held by poor countries like Greece will be able to get out of debt and compete fairly on a level monetary playing field. This is massive, so much volume and value. So I think this is a interesting, point or, conversation piece, because, as you see the development here, and we're seeing, more and more countries getting into CBDCs, but there's really been little focus on countries that are actually holding and getting into digital asset that already exists on the ground right now, and the impact it could potentially have on the country. But I like to think more about it from a personal level. What kind of impact is digital asset having on the people on the ground? But what do you guys think? From a country perspective, what Eman's bringing up, do you think that as we're, here's an opportunity right now, XRP institutional, bringing some interesting opportunities, can it have an impact on a country like Greece?
Switch it up a bit.
that confused me a little bit when you did.
Sorry, man. I thought it was.
But in short answer, and this is my gut feeling. This is not something that I'm just say, hey, this is Bible, this is facts. But in my short feelings, what I feel like is it's not going to be a country per se holding XRP, but digital assets in a whole, whether it be a CBDC or whether it be a nation sovereign country that goes digital, like say the digital dollar or whatever that looks like. Any country that is in some jeopardy like that, I believe that the digital space is going to help them for many, many reasons. There's a lot of people that might not be able to have a bank account. There's a lot of people that might not have enough money to deal with the traditional market. So once you start dealing with people that are trying to do smaller payments, people that don't need a lot of money, I think that digital assets is really going to help out in that situation. Whether an entire country holds something like a XRP or an XLM or something that's going to be ruled as a currency, it's hard to say at this point in time. I mean, I really don't know, but I could see digital assets making it a level playing field for all types of people.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what do you think, Chip?
I think a lot of things, Jeff. But I mean, on this subject itself, I would have to say that look, I mean, there's these CBDCs. I almost think that you're almost doomed if you don't. If you have a block, the whole idea of blockchain is it's public, right? So all these CBDCs, they want to make them, China, they want to make it private, right? So I almost see that it kind of defeats the whole purpose. And then in the U.S., are they going to be able to, if they come up with a digital dollar, what's that going to be pegged to? Our other dollar that's getting crushed right now that we're printing, it's like, just rolling it off. So I don't know that necessarily makes the digital dollar thing. I can't quite get my hands wrapped around. I don't really care for it so much, just in the sense that unless you hear more about what its use case is, but we don't need more dollars. We already got printing gone mad already. And I do think there will be a reset coming up. There will be a shift. It's time for us to get away from a debt system. You go back to a time when in this country and other countries where you could get by with just one person working, or Now it's like everyone has to work and you're constantly in debt. It's like there's all this stuff going on. It's never good. So it's almost as if there's going to be that something. But XRP is what, like Malpass, tying this back to what you said, is the bridge currency, like its use case of the whole ecosystem. Can it interface with CBDCs? Can it exchange from this CBDC to another one? You can't see my hands because we have this screen on, but I'm not here. I'm like, we'll just do it like this. But so I think that there's something to be said there. No, Jeff, what were you gonna chime in on this? I'm gonna go back to this. I need some space to move here. Jeff, what were you gonna say?
Realistically, I mean,
so let me take over here.
Jeff.
I hate to bust in on you, Jeff, but
no, go ahead.
A really good point right here, talking about things that are being pegged back to the gold. Going back to the gold standard. Realistically, whatever a country is using, it has to be backed by something. That's a lot of people that are on the outside of digital assets looking in at Bitcoin, and they're saying Bitcoin's never going to do anything because it's not backed by anything, and it's just a concept and this and that. So realistically, there's no government going to deal with anything that's not backed by something. The dollar is dying. Is the dollar coming home? I got all the confidence in the world that we're going to have a situation to where something like an ESDR is going to be issued out. We're no longer going to be dealing with the U.S. dollar in every country. U.S. dollar will come back to the United States, freeing up capital. Yen to go home, pound to go home, all that to go home. But as we start going over to the CBDCs, like you say, it has to be backed by something. The dollar system is failing. It's been failing since it began in the 70s when we took the gold standard off of it. So the only thing that was working back then was the fact that we had the gold standard there and it was pegged to something. Going back to the gold standard, realistically, is about the only option they have.
I think so. That's why Judy Shelton plays a big part here.
Right. Yeah, gold standard, or one of the things that she brought up in an article that she had written, was looking at digital asset as a possible substitute or offset for gold. So gold isn't necessarily the end all be all in this scenario where you can take digital asset and you start pegging to digital asset. It's funny because whenever I started on YouTube, one of the videos, I'd written up this video and I was going to talk about this whole concept of fiat, of the US dollar being backed by digital asset. I never went down that path. I thought it was interesting. I talked to some Bitcoin maxis. There was a Bitcoin group I started going to, and I talked to them about it, and they thought it was the craziest idea ever. Like, what do you need fiat for when you're going to have Bitcoin, for everything? But, now we're seeing it, I think, coming full circle, to that point again, where, the digital asset space, I think one of the bigger problems with fiat is that you can print it into infinitum. I mean, there's no end to it in any country. It doesn't matter what country you're in, because none of them are backed by anything. And Chip's point, with a CBDC, it could be the same thing if there's no limitation. So I think that's one thing that we're gonna have to look at as these countries start rolling out their own digital currency, their own, if we're gonna have a digital dollar or whatever it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, hang on a second. I thought this was interesting. Maybe we can comment on this. But I believe it was Matt LaRoche that put this up here. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen real quick here.
All right.
Let me just do. Where is this sucker?
Oh.
Where's?
Yeah, I'll be right back. I gotta plug in.
All right, no worries. Let's take a look at this right here. So Turkey's gold-backed Biga, whatever that is, cryptocurrency now fully functional. Turkish banks integrate. Let's see if I can get this bigger, man. No, that's
my
not
laptop
good.
wasn't plugged in.
There we go. Turkey's top lender, Istanbul Clearing, Settlement and Custody Bank, successfully completed the beta testing of its blockchain-based tokenization. Per sources close to the latest development, Turkish banks have started making active use of the gold-backed cryptocurrency. So that's really interesting. It's right on topic. So thanks, Matt, for sharing that. I appreciate that. What do you think about that? What's your first thought about that, Malpass? gold-backed
First
crypto?
thought on that is realistically, I heard, and I don't put this out publicly because I don't have the documents to prove it, but I've heard that it's only a matter of time inside of 2020 that we see most everybody going back to a gold standard. And I've heard that from some pretty reliable resources. But the funny thing is when you talk about banks being able to custody crypto, I had a situation last week where I was actually locked out of my account for dealing with Coinbase. So I showed up at my local bank and was like, "Hey, what's going on with this? Haven't you heard? You can now hold cryptocurrencies. Why are you locking me out for this? We're dealing with legal tender here. What is going on?" And the lady argued me up and down. She was like, "Man, there's no way. This bank here hates Bitcoin. There's no way. There's no way." I said, "Well, man, pull up your website. Pull it up." And there it was right there in front of it where she was just flabbergasted. She was like, "There's no way, man. We hate it. We hate it." I said, "Well, you might have hated it, but you're fixing to make money off of it. Unlock my account.
That's right.
Let's go."
Changes are coming, man. That's what I'm saying. You know, it's like, imagine someone comes off the street and you start charging them, well, let's see, you charge them a monthly fee for custody, then you charge them some, you know, they don't know about Coinbase. You just go like, hey, I go to my Bank of America app, and then they just pull it up. You know, they don't know.
It's nuts, man.
But that's why you see a lot of the CBDs. That's why you see a lot of the government's been buying up a lot of gold for the last couple of years. I've been hearing all kinds of weird rumblings of that, and I heard about this weird cache of gold that's supposedly in the Philippines. It's all kinds of weird stuff, man.
Yeah. So here's something Bill says, you know, not all countries have enough gold to back a national currency, which is probably the case, which is another reason why we're going to see some offsets, I believe, in the digital asset space, or we're going to see some combination thereof. There was an article that came out today about Jamaica, and Jamaica is hiring. They're looking to outsource the production of a CBDC, a digital asset. And so once they get this together, they'll go through whatever their trial period is, 12 months, 24 months trial, but they're planning on using the digital, I don't know what currency it's going to be in Jamaica, but whatever the digital Jamaican currency will be, it'll be used only in Jamaica. So you're starting to see this more and more. I mean, a conversation everywhere.
It's a pattern that we're going to see, guys, and it's great to be here with you guys, knowing that we saw this early. There was many a times back in the past 2 or 3 years that I've said it a ton of times that the whole world's going digital. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Everybody and their grandmother is like, no, this is never going to happen. Nobody's ever going to do anything with cryptocurrency. Y'all are fools. You're going to lose your money. It's a bubble, blah, blah, blah. But we all saw what was happening, and it's really and truly it's playing out in front of us right now. The entire globe is going to go digital. Every country with a sovereign country is going to have a CBDC that they're going to be transacting with. That's going to be transferred across the plumbing of the entire digital ecosystem, which is the XRP ledger. You have Sologenics that is making it possible for you to do traditional stocks. You have there's a lot of people working on it to where now the Zoom app is realistically now could be your bank account. If you could swap anything in and out, going right through the ledger. They have a lot of updates coming up on that. We'd Say When has actually put out some tweets out today about all the updates that are coming out with that to really put everything in the palm of your hand, going into the store, scanning your phone. There it is. They're already running commercials about how the blockchain using digital currencies on your phone is 10 times more safer than swiping your credit card, because whoever you swipe your credit card or your debit card with, they can actually see everything that you have, your card numbers, your expiration dates, your security codes. They see everything when you swipe that card. Cannot see any of that when you tap your phone down and make that transaction digital. So they're already prepping the masses. It's going to happen. What's going to back what? I can't be honest. I can't tell you that. What's going to be used for cross-border remittance payments? What's going to move money across the globe? Absolutely no doubt in my mind. XRP. How is everything going to travel, whether it's Bitcoin, gold, traditional stocks, your real estate, or anything in between? No doubt in my mind, it's going across the XRP ledger. Everything else, I mean, I don't know what else we can say to convince anybody, but just open up your eyes and really look at what's going on, because it's happening right before your eyes.
It's amazing. I mean, it's really, it's unbelievable, you know, being able to experience this. Then you go back 10 years, and that's the other thing, you know, we started off in the conversation, you know, looking at the movements, you know, and you brought up, you know, no one was looking or talks about, you know, the 2 cent, you know, value, or even before that, you know, and you look at Bitcoin in the early days, XRP in the early days, Ethereum, whatever the digital asset might have been, you look at it from the beginning till now, and you have that, you know, even that little blip of the downturn for the past, you know, couple years is just a little blip in time in the overall 10-year period of Bitcoin, or, you know, when you know, XRP launched, and then Ethereum, and, you know, it's amazing. I mean, it really is amazing, you know, to see the trend of the marketplace.
And what you're dealing with the trend of the markets. If you actually look at 2017 to present, and you're actually looking at just that chart, everything behind 2017 looks like a straight line. All the way across the board, it looks like a straight line. So in the next 5 years, everything behind it will still look like a straight line, because it's a brand new market, brand new charts that are coming out, openly traded coins for the first time. You're starting to see these trends develop, and we can make guesses. We can make guesses on what it's going to do, but realistically, it's still too young. It's still too new. But
that's right.
People like blockchain backer that are really finding fib targets. Now, the Fibonacci targets are just, he's killing them. I mean, he's nailing them point on. And if you actually take those fib targets and mix that with a little bit of Elliott wave, and you can actually see the market trends of building bases, building supports, building resistance, and you see where this thing is going, you can get a rough estimate of where things are going. But we can't really realistically look at that chart and say, this is going to happen on this day. If you start dealing with traditional stocks, I mean, you got years of information that you can go back and you can pull through, and you can all put it together, and you can pretty much see where things might be going, where things might be happening. But it's new, man, and it's booming, and it's explosive.
It is. But here's the thing.
Huh?
Here's the thing, though. You know, what I get concerned about is, like, I look at Visa. They can do 65,000 plus transactions. That's just one company. And it's like, so how does this work? You know, the plumbing right now, it's like you can only do 1,500 transactions per second. I'm not talking about the streaming payments. That's infinite. You know, with like what Coil does is where you could stream stuff, micro payments. Talking about actual payments, 1,500 is not a lot, especially when you compare that to like a Visa, a MasterCard, an Amex. So at some point, I'm imagining that there's some work being done on this in the background. I mean, even though no one's come out and said it, but let's face it, James, we can't. Everything is coming, and we know that this part of it's coming. We know that the ledger makes perfect sense, especially you mentioned earlier, taking CBDCs. And how is it going to get from the Chinese, from let's say, you know, Asia, Poland, you know, UK? How's it going to get to the US if it doesn't go through some ledger? And what ledger is that going to be? Is it going to be Hedera Hashgraph? You know, I mean, is it going to be, what is actually going to be the one? And 1,500 transactions. I mean, any worry around that?
How many transactions a second do you think that Visa does on a single ledger? Visa cannot do the transactions they're doing all over the globe.
Well, they don't have
having multiple main ledgers set up, making these transactions happen. So when they say that Visa is doing X amount of millions of transactions per minute, realistically, they're split up between all over the globe as they're.
No, I understand that. I'm not making that necessarily a case. I'm just saying you got just one hub in the wheel that's already established payment system. Because, you know, we both know that it's not even the transaction. All this stuff's happening in the background. Now, the new stuff that Visa is doing is very exciting about the settlement stuff. Problem is, it's a number going from here to there. The settlement's really not happening. Where with XRP, that settlement's happening, right? Those 1,500, but it's still not going to be enough. And let's put them aside. I don't think it's enough to where we know this is going. It's, you know, 1,500, they got to get it to 30, 40, 60,000 a second to be able to really make sense. Right now, that thing is going to be a log jam. It's going to be Bitcoin, it's going to be going nowhere, backed up transactions.
This is why we have corridors doing very minute percentages, whether it be a 1% corridor, whether it be a 10% corridor. They can ramp up. They can realistically get over 1,500 transactions. They can get over that, but they have never really in real time with companies doing it. They've never put that test on it. They've pushed it a little bit in like a trial phase, but as far as really buckling down and saying, okay, here it is, let's see exactly what this thing will do. That's never really happened to our knowledge for us to really say that 1,500 is all they can do.
Right.
It's only what you're right. It's only what we know now. It's a good comment on the screen, Jeff. You want to?
Yeah. So I thought it's an interesting subject because we're kind of discussing around it, but the idea that there should be some sort of a digital asset standard, a trade standard, compatibility. One thing that we know is with all the CBDCs, they're creating a lot of walled gardens, not too much interoperability between them. Who's going to manage the exchanges? With banks now being able to custody, then there's a possibility they're going to be custody. There'll be a custody source for the CBDCs. Then we're kind of basically in the same exact position that we are now, because if you have one bank moving money to another bank, they're not moving. They're not saying, here, hang on, I'm just sending you a representation, but I'm going to get the boxes of fiat and I'm going to send you the cash. I'm going to send them on the next plane out. It's all just representation, numeric representation. So, we have to look at that fact. So this is where I think the conversation of what you brought up, the XRP ledger, becomes so critical. As you have all these separate countries that are setting up their digital currencies, and you're going to want to quickly exchange. There's going to be an exchange rate, and you need to quickly exchange the digital yuan for the digital dollar or the digital yen or the digital pound or whatever it might be. Right now, you can't just send a digital pound to me, to the U.S. Because the U.S. is going to be transacting the digital dollar. So from that perspective, really the only viable scenario as we speak right now, there could be others that are in development. The XRPL seems the most viable, mainly because it's already doing it. It's already functioning and working within the banking space. What are your thoughts?
I think that's absolutely right. Everything has a shelf life, XRP included. Everything has a shelf life. But right now, XRP and the XRP ledger are light years above and beyond what anybody else is at this point in time. So it's going to be here for a while. It's going to be working for a while. But you're dead right. You have to have that. You have to have that bridge asset. You have to have something that connects it all together. And go back to the Ripple videos that I know I've put out on YouTube, and I'm sure others have too. How much money are we expecting to go through the interledger protocol? How much is going to go through ILP? All the money. Not some of it, not part of it, not a piece of it, all of it. They want all the money to move through the XRP ledger with interledger protocol.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, if it's not capable of doing that, if 1,500 transactions is all they have, they wouldn't make these bold statements. They wouldn't come out and say, this is our plans. We're fixing to get all the money. They wouldn't make those statements. It's going to happen.
That's a bunch of money.
Time before it does happen.
I can't even wait to think about all the money. It's so huge of a number there.
That's huge.
All
man.
of it.
I like
some of it.
But I do like it. People, they go like, well, cross-border payments and this and that. There's a lot more use cases for this. This thing, XRP, Ripple, they're just getting started at this moment in time. I just think there's other cool things that are going to drop. I'm curious. I haven't had a chance. I believe it or not, I've been working all day. But I'm curious as that we to win some new things going into Zum. Is there anything that you can comment on that you saw? I'm just curious what kind of feature sets that he was talking about.
I mean, I'd have to pull it back up. I know it was a pretty long.
Okay, it was like a long
tweet.
thread. Gotcha. I'll have to
Yeah,
check that out.
they're definitely making some upgrades. They have some big things coming. It's spanning out into Q1 of 2021. They really have some big plans. They have some things going a long way with that. I'm real excited to see where that goes. But back to your statement just a second ago, cross border payments, guys, is this much.
Yeah.
Of the puzzle. That much of the puzzle. There's endless possibilities of what you can do with an open source protocol that realistically anybody can build upon. They've attempted to do things with Cinnamon. They've attempted to do things with Coil. They've attempted to do things with all kind of little pieces of the puzzle. They've attempted to do things. Not everything has took off. Not everything has been that big, bright, shining light that everybody wanted to be a part of. But sooner or later, if you keep getting enough people to build upon it, sooner or later, you're going to have that boom moment. You're going to be like, oh, okay, I see where this is going. Boom. And
I like the idea, boom.
It's going to happen. I mean, there's no stopping it at this point in time. The only thing that realistically could stop this train from where it's going is for everybody to say, okay, yeah, we don't want a digital economy. We're not going for a digital economy.
You can't stop that.
We're not using CBDCs, and we're not going to deal with any of this. Guys, we're going digital.
You're right, James. You can't stop this train. It's like, people wanted to stop it. I tell anybody who has any ill will towards Bitcoin, like you said before, store of value. I don't care if it's something you could – your plants like to look at. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. What it matters is that open the door for, what you're talking about, which is this whole digital economy, everything to go digital. Its initial idea behind it was a little bit different, but look where it ended up being. Look where we are at this moment in time. It's amazing, right?
Y'all remember when Amazon only sold books?
Yeah. Hell yeah. And they said you're never going to succeed. Who's gonna buy a book online? No one's gonna buy a book online.
I remember when Apple told the Beatles they weren't ever gonna sell music, and that sort of happened. But then they had to pay the Beatles a lot of money. At least that was, like, hey, we're not gonna do that.
You know what the most exciting thing about crypto is for me? Not just see the entire globe just be transformed into something new, but the fact that retail investors were the first ones through the door. This has never happened before. Never. Find a traditional stock where retail investors were the first ones to invest in it. It never happened. You have you have institutional investors that suck it dry. And then we get the hind tit as it comes out into the market, and we get the pennies off of their millions. Guys, we were the first ones in the door, and this is the biggest transformation that the globe is going to see in man, I can't tell you how many years. This is transforming everything that we do. And we were the first ones in the door, get our little bags ready, and just sit back and wait, guys. It's all a waiting game, no matter what you're in, whether it's XRP, Bitcoin, VET, it don't matter. Whatever you're in, if it has real use case, if it fixes a real world problem, sit back, relax, smile, and know you was the first ones through the door.
That's it. Wow. That's a great point. I like that. Yeah.
That is good. Look at this. WB says, imagine a gold-backed currency, cryptocurrency or not, running on the XRP ledger with 3-second transaction times.
There you go.
That's where we're headed, man. That's a really good observation.
Yeah, that's exactly where we're heading now. You pair that. I think, James, you brought up, what's that one thing that's really, really going to take off in this space? And I think it's just a matter of time. And, Digital Asset Conductor brought it up. He's talking about Forte Gaming, a huge power play utilizing XRP. But when you get, the online gaming space, it's going to be unbelievable because gaming that's a missing element. You already see the transaction. I've talked about this a while ago, but you already see transaction happening as people are playing games. They're gathering up whatever they're gathering up in whatever game they're in. And now, and they're paying money in some scenarios. It's either sweat equity, the amount of time you spent playing a game, or you buying parts, adding to the game.
Bubba, you don't have any kids. You don't have any teenage kids, do you?
Oh, he does.
Oh, no. My son consumes all this stuff. on a daily basis, you know.
Dude,
So
I have a 14-year-old and a 10. I have a 14-year-old son and a 10-year-old son, and it's every week. Dad, buy me a card so I can put money on my game. Dad, buy me a card so I can put money on my game. Not that they need more internet time for live or any of that, but they have to pay for these little outfits that go on.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. They want the outfits.
I said,
Fortnite, yeah.
I said, I just gave you $50 last week.
Exactly.
Oh, that's gone, man. I need some more. Give me some more.
Do you know what's great about that though?
That,
What's clever about that is like it's not $50 to the kid. It's like it ends up being so many units, right? So it's like I spent it's cost you 9 of this or 7 of this, but they don't. It's like they're very clever. They don't equate it to money per se.
Right. Yeah, but the thing is now that they have that stuff to be able to sell it, you know, and so there's a website that, you know, my son likes playing Rocket League. Rocket League, it's an awesome game. You know, it's soccer. You play with cars. And it's in esports, you know, it's awesome. But the thing is, you get certain things, but there's another website we can go to buy all of those different add-ons. You can buy them on the game, but then they don't have everything. There's
Secondary.
parts on there. Yeah, you go to the secondary market, and there's parts on there you're paying $70, $80, $100. We added up like what's the most expensive car you could build in Rocket League. And just the outfits of the car. It doesn't change the functionality. It just design the wheels, design whatever. And you're talking about over $1,000 to put that all together, you know. But the point is that if you put the crypto into the space and you allow people to easily buy and sell the items, it changes the dynamics, because now you can make an actual career of your gaming, you know. And there's so many people that spend hour upon hour upon hour gaming. And now you want to sell your stuff. But a lot of them, after they pissed away, you know, hundreds of dollars on Fortnite, let's say, I'm bored with it. I'm moving on to something else. But they just pissed away hundreds of dollars on that game. How do you recoup? You know, how do you get your money back? And it's the digital asset space that's going to do it.
How do the parents get their money back, Jeff? That's the more important question. How do we get our money back?
I want my money back.
I was so happy my kid was in a Fortnite for about 6 months. She's like, I'm bored with it. I'm tired of it. It was more or less to hang out with my friends.
Just put them on the end of a lawnmower, man. You'll get that money back.
Wait, say that again?
Put them on the end of a lawnmower. You'll get that money back. Get out there and cut that grass, boy.
That's right.
Yeah, well, I got 2 girls, and they were never really into that. But I was like, hey, you want some money? Yeah, wash the dog. So that's what I do today. She had to wash the dog, and that was like, this dog doesn't like water, man. It's not like a lab. They like would stay there all day. So
right.
That's right.
There's another good question here. I wanted to see. So Matt LaRoche, let me just put this one up here. So LaRoche was talking about, you know, gold is the most trusted money of all history. Biggest flaws, time and effort to move it around the world. But with the XRPL, you get trusted and validated, immutable, and fast, you know, interoperable. That's what you end up getting. And it's like, you know, everybody here, one of the things I love about doing this, and James, I think Jeff and I love doing this, is that some of the smartest people I've ever seen come here and they participate, or I see them in other chats. One of the things I love about the crypto community, people, you know, are really, sometimes, you know, they're not out there broadcasting, they're not writing blog posts, but they've got really cool stuff to share and talk about. It's awesome when I see stuff like this, you know, float into a chat.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. That was one of the best things about the zoo, with bringing in community members and getting to know the community members and sitting down and having conversations with them. Man, that was one of the best things about the zoo, is just getting to know everybody, because everybody's so unique. Everybody has a different story. Everybody has a different timeline in which they've done things. It takes all of us, man. I mean, I've said it a million times that hey, we may not have it all together, but together we can have it all.
You know what? And I miss that, James. I miss you saying that. That was like that is one of the best. It's almost as good as the last song on Abbey Road Side 2, you know. The love we make is the love we equal to the love we take. You know, it's all we take is equal to the love we make. It's like that's the same thing, man. By the way, big shout out to RTB Dutchy, otherwise known as Roy, for $50 or 50 CZK. What is
That's
that?
Check
coin, right?
Karuna.
Is that a Karuna? That's what it is?
Yep. Check
on the mic. Check.
That's awesome.
Check on the
Appreciate that. Appreciate every Karuna that you guys,
or Corona.
RTB or Corona that RTB sent over. That's awesome.
He said it's a hype sticker, by the way. You can't see the little animated thing, but it's a little hippopotamus doing this hype.
Oh, I don't see it on the.
Yeah, you got to
here.
see it on the breakout one, but it's a little hype thing, hyping it, man. Come on, Roy. We're not doing any hypes here. Malpass is bringing it home. Malpass is really into something, or he froze again.
No, I was reading it.
Okay, good. Oh shoot, man. I was like,
He's reading,
you were just like this.
his tweets.
When you have a screen down here and you go like this, looks like your eyes are closed, you know, and you're like looking at your phone.
Right here, man. I was looking at the chat.
Here, I'm going to.
I don't know. That's a nice. I got to see where I can get myself a hat like that.
Man.
Social.
I just want to pull this up real quick, since you guys are talking about that. But just a quick shout out to the On The Chain community and the On The Chain website, onthechain.io. You guys can come over here. You'll find all the latest videos that were posted. And as you guys know or don't know, there's two YouTube channels. We have the live channel where you have the live streams like this, premieres, etc. And then we have the other channel where you get some of the more short form videos that'll pop up over there. And you can see some of those videos right here. We have the interview that we just did with Curtis Wang. We're putting up some of these after shows. You can find them over there. This one, if you guys really want to see something, we're talking about follow your passion and really get into it, go watch this video with Alex Mashinsky. This was some time spent, talk a little bit outside of crypto, but that was an outstanding video. And you'll find also on this channel, you'll also find a premiere that we did with Alex Mashinsky. So just want to quickly give the website a quick shout out.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Shout out to the website. Website says shout out back. Website's
right.
like yay, yay. A website's like where?
Thank you for that.
The website's like, where do I get a cool hat like that with Malpass? So Malpass, your second time on here. When you come on here 5 times, man, you get the official OTC hoodie, man. So you are rolling there, man. We got to try to get you on here more. You know what I mean? Because we haven't seen enough of you, man.
Hey, sounds good, man. I'll definitely come back. Definitely come back. I really appreciate y'all having me on here, guys. It's been a while since I've been on. Last one I've done was with Sam, and we had a whole big gang with us as we got in there and had a nice discussion with Sam, myself, Eddie, King Solomon, Jungle Link.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thinking crypto, it was a good time. It was a good time. So I don't really have the time myself to come in and put out content like I used to between work. I'm driving an hour and a half to work 12-hour days, come back, then help coach my son's football. Getting in about 9, 10 o'clock at night during the weekdays, man. It's not enough time to do everything. I'm still around, guys. There's a lot of people think I've left the community or whatever, man. I'm still around. I'm still in the community. I'm checking out Twitter. I'm looking at what everybody's talking about. I'm in there reposting your stuff, learning from y'all. Hey, without y'all, man, it takes all of us to make this thing happen. So still in the community, still holding strong. 2020 has been one of my best years so far with not only accumulating digital assets, but just accumulating wealth altogether. So real thankful for everything going on in 2020. Had a little setback with the corona, but everything's good. Like I say, just, hey, in the community, guys, hey, always, man, love God, love others, serve both, man. Hey, like I always say, we may not have it all together, but together we can have it all. Have each other's back. Each one, reach one, teach one. That's how we're going to make it through this thing. Not fighting each other's throats, not out there bickering with maximalists of other coins. Guys, don't be a maximalist. We're way early. We got a lot of things going on. We got a lot of things to do, guys. Pick up your friend, pick up your buddy. Let's get through this thing together, man. Hey, we all we got.
James, that is a fantastic advice. Well said. That is the perfect note to end on.
Very well said.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody in the community here, James, especially coming on. I appreciate you making it. I know you got a lot of stuff going on. Busy day and stuff. So it means a lot. But everybody here, thank you for being here as well. You know, Carolina too. You know, always smash the thumbs up. Connie, Lady Enigma, Roy, making it in here. So thank you to everybody. I want to say that. James, hang on for a little bit because we are going to play us out. But Jeff, I wanted to see. I have nothing to say after that. What James said, he said it for me. You got anything?
What James said just sums it all up. I just want to one last thing. I just want to say appreciate everybody here in the On The Chain community. You guys are here with us. on every live stream, every premiere, watching our videos, giving us comments, and giving us the motivation to keep putting out this content. So really appreciate everybody. Big shout out to Lady Enigma for the 589, and to RTB for the Dutch Krona, Czech Krona. So appreciate all you guys.
That's it. Well,
that's it.
Yeah, hang out for a little bit. Don't go anywhere. Guys, that's it. We'll see you on the next one. Chip, Malpass, and I'll just say Jeff, out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.